We are celebrating Zinfandel with some of the best in the business, and I want to introduce you to Tiaan Lordan. He's a winemaker at Hartford Court, Hartford Family Wines. Tiaan, how are you?
Hi, Ian. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat a little bit with you about Zinfandel.
You know, there's different styles of Zinfandel, different approaches, and I really appreciate the Hartford style. You obviously have an amazing track record, great vineyard holdings, a very Russian River approach, and it's a very special story. So I'm going to get right into the slideshow and have you tell us all about it. But first, let's start with you. I don't think that accent you're carrying is from the Russian River.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's probably more Russian riverized now than it used to be. But I am originally from South Africa. I was born there, grew up there, and got into the wine industry over there, and decided to just come over here to do a quick harvest. That was the plan, just a quick harvest in the Russian River Valley, but ended up meeting my wife during that visit, and so here we are.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yes,
That's the way the world works.
that's the way it works. Yes. So happy to be here. It's a beautiful place, and you know, I landed at a great spot here at Hartford. Fantastic wines, great area. So yeah, I'm working for Don and Janie Hartford and their kids, Haley and McLean, and they actually started this winery in late 1993. 94 was the first vintage, and the idea of it was, since this is such a cool region and such a great place for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, that this was going to be a winery to focus on the Burgundian varietals. And so Hartford Court was started to make single vineyard Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And so we're still really focusing on that, making Chardonnay and Pinot Noir from all over, ranging from single vineyards that are up in the Willamette Valley down to the Santa Rita Hills. But that same year they started, in 1994, Don and Jenny bought a house in the Russian River Valley and realized that in their backyard they had some old vines in. So the Hartford Vineyard, now over 100 years old, is really how the Zinfandel journey started for us in 1994. Yeah. So here you see the map of the Russian River Valley and other regions. And I like that they make the color of the Russian River Valley blue, because it is so cool. It's a perfect area for Chardonnay and Pinot, and then, as we realized, for Zinfandel as well. The Russian River Valley gets nice and cool, with the wind and the fog, and that cools everything down and gives us great acidity and brings great balance in the wines. So the winery is situated also in the Russian River Valley, and you can see they're surrounded by fir trees and redwoods, and really in the heart of it all, surrounded by the trees and by the vineyards. And I'm really lucky to have what we have. If you're ever in the area and want to visit us, we're just outside of the town of Forestville. We make Zinfandel from 7 different vineyards now, all of them in the Russian River Valley. All of them are old vine. So I think the youngest vineyard we work with was planted in 1942. So that's 85 years or 81 years old now. So not ancient like most of the ones that we have that are over 100 years old, but very old. They're all in the same region. And yes, you're right. I think people really had a great idea of where to plant these with the Gold-Ridge soils, and with the, it's windy. When you're out in this area, it's windy and it's cool.
Well, let's taste this wine and get some comments. I see you got it in the glass there.
Oh, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, awesome. This wine always carries so much character of the place, but also in your hands, you really are able to prop up and properly present all this information it's got this juiciness and this wildness, this brambly berry fruit that it's so tender and so nicely extracted. It's really a great ambassador for Zinfandel and a great ambassador for the Russian River.
Oh, that's a wonderful compliment. Thank you. Yes, we just, we feel if we have the privilege to work with these vineyards, with these grapes, we need to do our best not to mess it up. So bring the fruit in at the right time and kind of try to have a hands-off approach when it comes to making these wines and just let them show, because they have such great soils, they have such great climate. So just let them do their thing.
We believe that at this price point, this 100-year-old vine, 80-year-old vine blend of the Russian River is really one of the more compelling value propositions in wine.
It's all native fermentations too, so it's a long and arduous process getting these wines through the winemaking process. They age in French oak barrels too. We feel like that doesn't detract from any of the naturally present flavors of the wine, by using this French oak and bringing some spice components into it, and all of that, it makes for a big and a complex and an interesting wine. And to be able to get that at $40 or so, I think that's a great spot, and many people can get in there and enjoy that, and it'll sort of open up your world into the Zins and other old vine varietals that you'll find in the valley.
We haven't seen any reviews come out on the 21s yet. You guys are in 21 vintage, but it's a perennial top scoring wine, and usually when these scores come out, the wine gets eviscerated from the stores. I would not hesitate. The 21 vintage is going to be very highly acclaimed, and I think Zinfandel is setting up to be pretty special for the 21 vintage. And this wine will age beautifully for the next decade or so. So it's a great wine to have at your fingertips, and we really appreciate you taking time to talk to us about it today.